Welcome to FRC Media News for Thursday, August 17th, 2017. I'm Keith Tebow. This week we have details about a newly purchased fire department pumper truck. We provide information about an upcoming motorcycle run for charity and give you an inside look into the community boating program on Fall River's waterfront. But first, let's check in with the headline news of the week. Just fresh back from vacation as I am, Will Richmond, the digital news editor at the Herald News. Will, welcome back.
Thanks, Keith. Good to see you.
Same here. Let's talk a little bit about the South Coast Marketplace. As we know, the former Harbor Mall is being redeveloped with a number of new commercial and consumer outlets, including Market Basket and restaurants and other shops in the area. Market Basket's going to hire over 400 people. There's going to be other jobs available in the area. But this week, the marketplace was actually before the City Council, as the City Council was looking to create a home rule petition to send to the State House in Boston, seeking more liquor licenses for restaurant establishments and also for package stores. First of all, we'll talk about what happened at the council meeting, as what ended up happening is the issue was tabled for now. But talk a little bit about what happened at the meeting, and then I want to get a little bit more into what your knowledge is of liquor licenses in general in the city.
Sure. Well, as the council sought to create those 4 additional licenses, like you mentioned, 2 were intended for liquor stores, which would carry beer, wine, and hard liquor, and 2 were for the more traditional, restaurant type of license. So part of this, though, was that they're looking to get a liquor store into South Coast Marketplace that would need one of these licenses, since one was not able to be obtained otherwise. And to do this, there were councilors proposing the idea of the home rule petition. This brought out a number of current liquor license holders who spoke at public input against the idea, with complaints that the license, creating additional licenses would devalue theirs, that there's enough out there already. And this led to further discussion by the council as to whether or not more licenses should be granted. Certainly, the developers of South Coast Marketplace made their pitch for trying to get more licenses in order to get that liquor store tenant secured as well. And as you mentioned, and in the end, the council decided to table the matter for future discussion. So where this may go, we'll have to wait a couple weeks to find out.
I'm going to put you on the spot here, and if you don't have the answer, it's understandable. Do you happen to know how many liquor licenses the city has available and how many they can issue?
Well, they have none available. Essentially, liquor licenses, once they get into the hands of the owner of the license, it becomes that person's license. Okay. And then they're free to sell it at whatever price they're able to get. There was some discussion the other night, and we've reported that, initially there was a thought that the marketplace developers would be able to purchase one in the range of $300,000. They were approaching holders of current licenses, saying that there'd be a value of that amount that could be paid. And then as it appeared that the home rule petition might not pass, a holder of one of the licenses raised his price to the $500,000 range to sell his. So they actually become, private business in a way, although
Right.
they are for the public liquor license.
I guess my question was, do we know how many licenses are in Fall River? I mean, how many are package stores, how many are restaurants, how many, I guess, are there in the city, whether they're available or not?
Yeah, I actually have a list on my desk, though. It's a pretty convoluted, even looking at the list. It's not clear exactly, so it's broken up into, there are liquor licenses that can only carry beer and wine, and you see a lot of those at the convenience stores and that kind of outlet. There's the full liquor licenses, which is the type that is being sought for the South Coast Marketplace. And then on the restaurant side, you have the same thing. There's beer and wine liquor licenses, and there's full liquor licenses. So you have those 4 categories. I believe off the top of my head, I think there are about somewhere in the range of 300 total of those 4 that are out there in the city. Though some are dormant. Some, get purchased because of their value and sit in someone's desk as they have plans to develop something, or maybe those plans fall through, but the value of the liquor license is so much that, you don't just give it back to the city or anything like that. So,
Okay.
so there's a lot of value to the liquor licenses in the city.
This is something I probably want to follow up on myself, which we probably will do, because I just want to know, like, how many are there, how much they cost, who is the ultimate, when they buy a license, is it to the city, if there's one available? Anyway, that's a longer conversation than we have time for today. But let me get to another topic. King Philip Mill, which we've talked about a lot here on the program over the last few months. And I think even 2 weeks ago, we brought up the story that there was a question about the historical significance of the mill and whether the developers can go forward because they didn't ask permission from this board in the city. And now it looks like the funding for the King Philip Mill may be in jeopardy. Just give us a quick update.
Yeah, so there appears to have been a falling out between the developer, who had sort of been the face of this project for the last couple of months, and the initial investors that were going to back this development, put $30+ million into it. But they have seemed to separate it, as there seems to be some question as to the roles of each other in the process. The investors seem to be trying to drive the price down on the project. The developer wants to move forward on it. Certainly, he's made a good faith effort to the city, to the neighborhood association in the South End, to turn this into market rate housing, and that was his plan. The two sides have separated. The investors are no longer kind of interested in this project, at least in the format that it is in currently. And so where it stands, where it's going to go to, there's a lot to still find out coming up, I think.
It's been a long time that this project has been, developing in terms of the public safety issues and now the selling of the building, and just another twist in this whole event. We'll just have to keep following it. All right, Will, what's coming up over the next few days?
So we are, all in on the solar eclipse coming up on Monday. So in Sunday's paper, you can read all about, what the expectations are for it in this area, where different events are taking place to participate if you want to watch it with a group of other people, and some of the important things you need to know if you are going to be observing the solar eclipse.
And that'll be Monday afternoon, like 2:30, 3 o'clock around our area, I believe,
right
around that time. All right, Will, thanks for joining us. Have a great week.
All right, good to see you, Keith.
We'll have more FRC Media news right after this.
Here are some job descriptions on the latest hot jobs list from the Fall River Career Center. Human Resource Generalist. Family Service Association of Fall River, located at 101 Rock Street, is looking for a part-time human resource generalist to serve as liaison to vendors and coordinate services and communication to employees. Job number 941-1182. Dentist. Aspen Dental, located at 90 William S. Canning Boulevard, is in need of a full-time dentist to perform comprehensive full-mouth exams, diagnose dental conditions, and assess treatment planning options with patients. Job number 939-2136. Certified Nursing Assistant. Kindred Healthcare, located at 1748 Highland Avenue, is looking for a full-time certified nursing assistant to provide basic nursing assistance and assist residents with daily living activities. Job number 939-6498. Blount Fine Foods, located at 630 Current Road, is looking to fulfill the following full-time positions. Food prep data entry. Job number 941-3621. Maintenance mechanic. Job number 941-3529. The Fall River Public School Department, located at 417 Rock Street, is looking to fulfill the following full-time positions for the 2017 and 2018 school year. Autism teacher. Job number 939-3055. Grade 6 science teacher. Job number 941-3634. For more information on these or other positions, visit frcmedianews.org or call the Fall River Career Center at 508-730-3600. 5000.
Welcome back. Fall River's Fire Department has a new 1,500-gallon pumper truck for use at its North End station. This is the first vehicle purchased with a community development federally funded loan. At a news conference this week, Fire Chief John Lynch credited the Correa administration with the new addition.
This represents another link in the chain, the alliance, the partnership that the city administration, the city councilors, the state delegation have committed to the Fall River Fire Department. It's a new resurrection of the fire department, a rejuvenation. It's their commitment that has helped make this so possible today. There is also a brand new link in this chain, and that link is Mr. Mike Dion, the CDA director. Mike Dion secured the loan from the federal government that is paying for these new engines, ladder trucks, command vehicles. So, Mike, I'd like to thank you on behalf of the whole Fall River Fire Department. With his help, many more links are sure to come. Within the next year, we'll see a new platform ladder truck, 2 more engines, and a heavy rescue, along with dive equipment. We've had the last of the washers and dryers for our gear delivered to the last 3 stations. Those were all bought with money from CDA.
But we really are so proud of the future of Fall River. It looks pretty bright for our fire department. This administration has made a commitment to public safety, and I think that the firefighters will tell you that that commitment has been very strong over the last 18 months. It's represented today. It's represented by a physical new fire truck, but it's more than that. It's the breath of fresh air from instituting the new chief, Chief Lynch, who has just been outstanding for that department, to the fire trucks, to the equipment, the new masks, the washers and dryers. And I talk about it all the time because all this equipment together really makes the fire department that they are today and will continue to be.
The Bristol County Children's Advocacy Center, which offers legal and social service help to abused children and their families, is expanding its services. Executive Director Michelle Laranger says the center will put emphasis on sexual exploitation and human trafficking, which is a real problem in the greater Fall River area.
We are the coordinating entity for the investigative and treatment pieces for those cases. In Bristol County in fiscal year 17, we had 46 of them. People don't want to believe that this issue is happening, but it's very, very real. And again, a piece of this program development is to do education and so that folks know what to look for so that we have better identification.
Since you brought it up, what should you be looking for?
So the children who are impacted by exploitation and trafficking are kids who are frequently runaways, and some of the very surface symptoms are kids who otherwise wouldn't have the means to have material goods that that they couldn't acquire on their own. Nice pocketbooks, multiple cell phones, frequent new clothing. Kids who are runaway youth are particularly vulnerable for these types of things. Kids who isolate themselves but are on social media a lot. Those are some of the basic signs to look for. We see this, the recognition of commercial sexual exploitation of children is more by discovery. These kids are not disclosing of their victimization at the hands of people who are exploiting them. In fact, they want to stay undercover. So we're doing a lot with uniformed patrol officers, gang units, what we call beat officers, and the hospital emergency departments where these kids are coming in for some medical intervention. that on the surface seems like it would be just a sick visit, but really teaching triage nurses how to ask a series of questions that might get at the bottom of where they live. Are they a runaway youth, and why might they have a name brand pocketbook if in fact they've been homeless for the last many days? So it's more of a discovery process in really teaching those who would happen upon these youth to ask the right questions of these kids to try to get them into the system to help them.
Motorcycle run to benefit the residents of St. Vincent's Home on Highland Avenue is coming up this weekend. Human Resources Coordinator Catherine Dow says this is the nonprofit agency's 12th annual event.
We have grown and grown and grown, and it's a fantastic event. We leave St. Vincent's property. We go out to the Freetown area, out through Rochester, Lakeville, circling around and coming back. It's about a 55 mile an hour ride, not mile per hour, but 55-mile ride. And takes them by the lakes, it takes them through the trees and the woods, and it's a beautiful ride. We've had several compliments on our choice of route, so that works out well. And it's a great day. You don't need a motorcycle to participate in the event. You certainly can just park your car on Highland Avenue and stroll in. Raffle tickets are available for everyone who would like to purchase them. We're going to have some great silent auction items available, and food is available for purchase as well. It's just a wonderful day.
It's a fundraiser, I understand. What's the money specifically used for?
It goes to helping the kids that we have here at St. Vincent's. The funding that we get does not pay for everything that our kids need. And anyone who has kids realizes there's a lot of little things that come up along the way. And we don't want our kids to ever go without. So whatever they need, be it the end of the year and someone is going to be going to a prom or some kind of an event for school or whatever the case is, what every other kid out there gets, we want to make sure that our kids get. So those funds don't come from the state or any federal agency whatsoever. They come from folks who give of their time, give of themselves, and give from their pocketbooks to our events.
We'll have more FRC Media News right after this.
Welcome to Hot Dogs and Cool Cats. This week's feature is a pair of declawed siblings. Unfortunately, their owner died. They're approximately 5 years old, but their family members thought to bring them here so that we can get them a home. It'd be nice if they go together, but they can go separately. Danny is the one moving about the floor right now. He has beautiful seafoam green eyes, and Sandy has a unique orange eye to go with the other seafoam green eyes. So I believe they're siblings because they're about the same age and they look kind of alike in their facial features.
Today we have Ted. Ted is an adult male rat. He came to us just this past week with two of his litter mates, as far as we can tell, Jack and Bobby. They are all adults. They are all male. They're all intact. Rats are an unusual and fun pet. They like to interact. They like to be active. They are very active at night, so you do have to be prepared for that. They like to have a nice large cage with lots of enrichment, things to play with, things to explore. If you'd like to come down and meet Ted or his brothers, Jack and Bobby, you can come down and visit the shelter, 300 Linwood Street, 11 to 4, every day but Wednesday. You can spend some time with them. We can put you in the adoption room with them. You can see them play, give you a couple of cat toys. And if you're interested in adopting, you can put in an application.
Greater Fall River Recreation has taken over a community boating program for area youngsters at the city's waterfront. Participants sail out into the Taunton River and learn about boat safety. Here's more from Special Project Coordinator Chris Nardi.
Some of these boats are equipped with what's called a centerboard, which is a very lightweight piece of fiberglass that sticks into the water. That kind of boat typically will, under the right conditions, will tip over or capsize. So they need to know how to do that when it happens. We do that with them intentionally so they know what to do when it happens unintentionally. And we have 2 types of boats here that will do that. So we do that in both boats, depending on the advancement of the child.
And tell us, how heavy are the boats?
That I don't know off the top of my head. They're relatively light, except for our keel boats, which are the main program boats. Those have a keel on the bottom, which is a big piece of lead that hangs down. Those boats don't capsize. And those are, I know the keel is, alone on those boats weighs 700 pounds, so might add a few hundred more for the boat itself.
Tell us about how the racing works.
Okay, in the racing you have a start line, which could be a boat and a buoy, or 2 buoys, but then it's an imaginary line on the water, and it's set downwind, if you will, away from the wind. So they have a 3-minute warning, or 3-minute start it's called, but while during that 3 minutes, they're all jockeying into position to be over the line first, okay? So depending on that, how that goes, once they cross the line, they will start moving up towards the windward mark, which is the mark closest to the wind. And the mark, I'm referring to the mark, I'm calling it it's a buoy. So in this case, it was an orange buoy, or it is an orange buoy. So because the buoy is directly upwind, they cannot sail in a straight line to it. They have to what's called tack back and forth, which is an angle that's off of the wind on either side of the wind. So they'll tack one way and tack the other way. And that's where their strategy and tactics come in. The people who do it more often have more experience in tacking at the right time and tacking the least amount of times. If they tack too early in some cases, or if they don't tack at the right time, the tide, depending on which way it's going, can push the boat away from the mark, and therefore they tack too early. If they're keeping that in mind, then they might tack a little bit later, and as they get to the mark, the tide will push them closer to the mark, and they'll go around it the first time, and then they'll more than likely win the race.
Now, what kind of boat safety or boat regulations are on the water?
Well, out here in Fall River, at least, we have what's called the no-wake zone, which starts at the bow of the battleship and goes towards the point over there where the Cove Restaurant is, or a little bit beyond that. And inside that line, you cannot make a wake because you have boats that are here on moorings and docks, and it's a safety thing. You create big waves, they can create all sorts of havoc on the water for other people. As far as the speed limit out in the channel, I'm not sure, but there are navigation rules you have to follow. For example, power boats are supposed to give way to sailboats. Now, we teach our sailors not to count on that rule. We tell them to always avoid a powerboat just for safety reasons. Other rules of the road for sailors are, for example, if you are passing another boat, the boat you are passing has the right of way. If you are upwind of another boat, the boat that's below you, wind-wise, has the right of way. And if boats approach on 2 different tacks, which we call them, again, I didn't talk about this earlier, but we have a port tack and starboard tack. The starboard tack has the right of way. So we teach these things to the children as well.
Heritage State Park at Fall River's Waterfront was alive with artists this week, artwork that will be shown at an event this fall. We spoke with a participating artist and the curator of the Fall River Art Association, Carolyn Hall, about what her goal was during this week's event.
To kind of set up an outdoor painting group. We call it plein air, which is a French term. It means outdoor painting. And Monet and Pissarro and Sisley and a number of the other Impressionists started this. And it's continued in this country very successfully, all parts of the country. And of course, weather is the main factor, although some people do venture out in the winter. The goal would be to set up your easel and to draw and or paint a scene that appeals to you. And we have 3 to 5 hours to do that. And when finished, it will be on display in November at the Greater Fall River Art Association at 80 Belmont Street. And that's right near Charleston Memorial Hospital.
Can anybody participate?
Yes, they can. Yes, they can. We welcome newcomers and people who've always wanted to do this but didn't have the time, or the friends. You need support. It's a support system, really, to help each other to see what inspires you.
Now, what kind of drawings do people do, or is it paintings? Describe the art.
Most people paint. Most people paint. Some of our people are very fast. Some will start and then finish at home. I will bring myself back to the scene and finish. I always like to be there when I finish off, you know.
So what kind of painting, or I should say drawing, do you do?
Well, today I wanted to do the carousel because it's very different. I do a lot of architectural buildings and I love landscapes. I do some portraits, but I haven't done a carousel. That's a new venture for me.
That'll do it for this edition of FRC Media News. One reminder, we've begun our work around the 2017 municipal election. You'll soon see statements from the candidates running in the September preliminary election, and we'll also be partnering with FRG-TV in the production of candidate forums and, of course, the results on election night. You can find out more on our websites, frmedia.org and frcmedianews.org. You can catch this program, FRC Media News, Thursday and Friday at 6 p.m. and online at our website, frcmedianews.org. For all of us here at FRC Media News, I'm Keith Tebow. Have a great week. We'll see you next Thursday.